to see if anybody comes on, and sometimes people wave to you and say stuff. But because we have the rear fronting camera, you're not going to be able to see who's going to be on until we're done. So we can just talk. And then go through, and then as you're at the end, when you press live, you'll be able to see who said something, and then you can comment to it afterwards. All right, so you want to go ahead and start talking about?
So hello friends, my name is Mila Lieberson, and I am the CFO of the New Jersey Small Business Alliance. We are an organization, a nonprofit that works with entrepreneurs and also victims of domestic violence, assisting them in ending the cycle of abuse through entrepreneurship. We have a really cool program, and that is why I'm so excited to be here with Chef Effie. She is going to show the viewers how to incorporate something that we have and we use to help our program help victims of domestic violence through a passion of hers and also her business, which is vegan cooking. Today we're going to do vegan desserts, but I want to tell you a little bit about what we have that helps those in need who are looking to escape abuse. Maybe sometimes they don't know where to turn for help. And so we have a program called Fresh Start. Fresh Start was designed by our new president, Lorena Ramos, in collaboration with the rest of the board. And this program is a 4-phase program where we put participants, people who've been abused, through mental health therapy, business education, mentorship, and actually give them grants so that they can become entrepreneurs and make money, become financially independent on their own terms. And especially if they have kids, this is very useful because flexibility and value of your time is so key when you are maybe a single parent. So we have come up with different ways to support our program. One is called Aromatico Coffee. This is a very special product. It is only available through the New Jersey Small Business Alliance, and this is a coffee that was harvested by one of our advisors, and this is straight from Colombia. It is a high-grade, one-of-a-kind, pesticide-free coffee. The cool part about this coffee is that it comes from a little farm in the Andes Mountains. It's a family farm, and they were gracious enough to want to work with us so that they can continue supply us with this coffee so we can continue to sustain our Fresh Start program. We have 2 flavors, and one is smoother, one is a little more robust, so one I guess would be best for morning, while another one would be maybe best for evening or the afternoon. Today we are again doing something special. So not only is drinking coffee a popular thing, coffee can be implemented in food. And I'm going to now transfer the rest of the segment to Afi. And as we are watching, learning, cooking together, we're also going to learn about Afi. She's an entrepreneur, she is a chef, and she's a visionary. So please welcome Avi.
Thank you, Malia. Awesome, awesome. I'm so excited to do this today. So we have some delicious recipes that we're gonna bang out really quickly, guys. So I'm gonna move this stuff closer to you guys. I ground up some of her coffee. Can you tell me which bean I was using?
So I believe this is the bean that you used.
Okay.
And I believe this is Suave is more, I believe we use Suave for the morning brew.
Okay, so this is a morning brew
Yes.
coffee. Okay, called Suave.
Yes, Suave. Actually, yes, so this is Suave.
Okay,
and
Suave,
this,
okay.
And this is Serenity.
Okay, so I'm using Suave.
Yes, so
Okay.
this is a morning.
Okay, awesome.
But it
awesome.
doesn't have to be.
Okay,
You
yeah,
decide.
coffee could be, you know,
Yes.
work with a lot of different
Alright.
things when you're making desserts. So we're gonna make 2 fun desserts today.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna make a 2-ingredient ice cream that is actually going to have to sit in our freezer downstairs for a little while it like hardens up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then the second recipe we're gonna make is a vegan tiramisu.
Amazing. And I love tiramisu. And those who know me know I am a dessert junkie. But I'm not one to go for these unhealthy desserts. I love my desserts to be healthy. So this is perfect.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so let's just talk a little bit about what we're doing. So this is a vegan heavy whipping cream, and it's made from lentil pea protein, coconut, tapioca starch, and basically what we're gonna do is we have a hand mixer here. I forgot to bring my clear glass bowl because then you guys could see through it as I'm blending it. But basically what I'm gonna do is make stiff peaks. What is a stiff peak? A stiff peak is actually when you create air into a product and it changes the consistency. So it goes from liquid to more of a solid. You gotta blend this and blend this. This is super cold. I usually buy this at a grocery store like ShopRite or Stop and Shop. It is made from Country Crock. It is awesome. So we're gonna blend this. It's gonna be a little loud. I'm trying to raise my voice so you guys can hear. This is probably gonna take about 6 to 7 minutes to get super thick. I usually kind of go around like this. And I've got an awesome pan that we're gonna put it in. This is just a loaf pan. When you don't have an ice cream churn, you can actually do this recipe, and it's really good. You can throw in fruit, all kind of fun stuff. I'll get into a little bit more about me, guys, once we're done with this recipe, because it's kind of loud.
I assume that the only thing that's
Yes,
is
heavy cream.
so what is there that's giving that texture that's actually like that?
So it's the lentil protein. Lentil protein actually incorporated with air and tapioca actually creates a thick foam. It is food science. Yeah, food science is amazing. Yeah, it's literally. I use another product that does something similar. It's called aquafaba. It's the liquid from the chicken. I will talk about a little bit more about that when we do our next recipe. So it's getting thick, guys.
It looks just like regular.
It is. Like, it is so cool. Like, I enjoy cooking. We want this super stiff. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the coconut. It's going to deflate a little bit. And before I add that, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the coffee into it. We want it pretty stiff. Let's turn that off for a second.
Tell me what I can do to help you.
Okay.
I'm not going to be a
Let's
good
see.
chef, but I
Oh, that's
am
okay.
a really good
She's going to be
cleaner.
an awesome sous chef. All right, I just
I'm
want
gonna
to
be a
make
sous chef
sure.
today.
So there is a little bit, there's a bowl, oh, right here. All right, so I'm going to have you sprinkle a little bit of, this is confectionate powdered sugar. That's just going to help stiffen it up a little bit. So you can
Tell me more.
pour some in. All right, awesome. You can stop. All right, I'm going to turn this back on. It's going to get loud again, guys. This is just going to help with the sweetness and also stiffen it up just a tiny bit. sweet. There's no sugar. You have to make it sweet. Alright, we're almost there. If you have a stand mixer, you can put this in the stand mixer too.
I can't believe it. It literally looks like regular turkey.
This is amazing. I just want it a little stiffer. Literally by incorporating air into this, that's what's creating the foam. You guys see that? I'm gonna hold it up to this thing right here. You guys can see in the camera how the consistency is changing. All right, so this is stiff peaks, guys. You want it to be where you hold it upside down, it doesn't fall out of the bowl. If you do not keep blending to that point and you turn it over, it's gonna fall out. But you see how I can hold this literally like this and it's not falling out? That's what stiff peaks. Peaks are just like the end parts of the blender, like the mix that kind of sticks out, like a little peak. So yeah, so we're good at that point. So I'm gonna leave this right here. We're gonna wind up using
allow
this.
a little tasting?
Yeah.
That's
So
why-
as soon as we get to this part, then I'm gonna let you taste. I have tasting spoons
Okay,
right
gotcha.
under here.
Okay.
And then we're gonna, so I am going to sprinkle a little bit of the coffee in there, okay?
So this is coconut
So
milk?
this is coconut milk.
Okay.
I made kind of like a quick version of a condensed milk. Technically, this is supposed to be a condensed milk, so the two ingredients are condensed milk and heavy whipping cream. And this is actually a traditional recipe, guys. I just veganized it.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just do a little bit, depending on your ground. Sometimes you can ground it a lot finer. I don't want it to be too grainy.
I think it's gonna be, actually will enjoy the texture.
Yeah, because it's
Yes.
gonna be a little bit of a crunch.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
love the texture, yep.
I had a trusty Vitamix here, guys, to ground. We didn't have our coffee grounder, but hey, in the kitchen, when you're in the kitchen, sometimes when you don't have different things, you have to be adaptable. That is like my specialty. I can think quick on my feet. If we don't have something, how do we correct the problem? All right, so we're gonna pour this in just a little bit, and then I'm gonna fold. So let's mix a little bit longer, just to make sure I don't want to deflate it. And then we're gonna put it in this pan, and then put it in the freezer downstairs. I just wanna make sure it's super thick. So with this ice cream, you can cut up fruit, like strawberries, because it's summertime, and you throw the strawberries in there. We're going to pour just a little bit, and then I'm going to fold. We don't want to deflate it, and I might whip a little bit more. This is basically, at this particular point, it is like a soft serve. So ice cream technically needs to be frozen. Ice cream base are usually like cream and milk. You don't necessarily have to have all of those. You can make a 2-ingredient one. Even if you don't use a vegan heavy whipping cream, you would just use a regular heavy whipping cream. And you're gonna do the same thing I just did by putting in whipping cream. Yes.
There's a regular.
Yes, so there
and
is,
another type?
yes.
Tell
So the difference is this one is made from like plants and
Oh, yes,
beans,
I
legumes.
understand. This is the vegan one.
Exactly. The traditional is made from dairy. So if you go in your dairy section and you're going to look for those tall cartons that say heavy whipping cream.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's
So
what you use.
I'm going to ask you probably one of the most common questions that you get,
Okay.
which is, what is the difference between vegan food and vegetarian food? Or is that even a thing?
Not much. Vegetarians might do more of like a, they might incorporate cheese or dairy to their meals. Vegetarian and vegan just means no animal byproducts at all. So that's where the difference comes from. Where a vegetarian might have a cheese pizza that actually was made in a restaurant that's actually made from cheese. A vegan might have a pizza that actually uses vegan cheese. So that's where the difference is. No animal byproduct. Yeah, so there's certain, there's different terminologies. There's plant-based, which technically means literally you only use plants. There is a flexitarian, which means that you can actually do a little bit of everything. And then there is strict veganism, which means, like I said, you're no animal byproducts at all. So that's no eggs, no dairy, no fish, nothing that has been as considered an animal. That's what a strict vegan would be. Yeah.
Is that what you are?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not as strict as I used to be.
Okay.
Growing up as a kid, I was more stricter. So yeah.
So you started your vegan journey from when you were young?
Exactly, from when I was young. My mom started me as started us as a pescatarian, which just meant we ate fish, and then we went from pescatarian to veganism, and then from veganism we went to that was pretty much it. And when I was a kid, we were really strict because at that time I was living at home and my mom was doing all the cooking and purchasing all the food. So as a kid, you can't really tell your parents what you don't want to eat. You can, but is that actually going to change anything? But I really still enjoy eating this way, you know. All right, so we got this together, guys. Now we're going to actually take it and put it inside this pan here, and then I'm going to take it and put it downstairs and put it in the freezer and let it harden up a little bit. It's going to be like a soft serve. I will leave some in the bowl for you so you can taste a little bit.
Do the audience want to see me
And you'll
sample it?
You'll have to tell me what you think, and it'll come out. It's going to be like a soft serve.
Okay.
I'm going to put it in our sub-zero freezer because technically this takes about 2 to 4 hours to freeze up. We don't actually have that kind of time, so we're going to kind of fast track it a little bit.
Okay.
So it's going to be more like a soft serve.
So I think what I'm going to do is put the camera on pause while we are transitioning, and we will resume as soon as Afi's back.
Okay.
So give us a time, Blind. 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes would be good.
Okay. 10, 15 minutes. We'll be right back.
All right, guys. I'll see you in a minute. No, if you finish it, it's going to end it. Yeah, we just have to leave it. Guys, so we couldn't figure out how to pause. This is real life. It is what it is, you know. Sometimes when you're doing technology, it's not my forte, but this is. So I'm going to run downstairs really quick. Malia can actually talk to you guys more about her business, and I'll be right back.
Very good. So let me talk to you a little bit about the New Jersey Small Business Alliance. New Jersey Small Business Alliance, as I mentioned in the beginning, for those who missed the beginning, we are an entrepreneurial nonprofit. We work with business owners or aspiring business owners who are looking for help launching their businesses or are looking for assistance with managing their businesses more effectively. We have resources, we offer guidance, and most importantly, we are a non-membership based. What that means is if you need help, you will receive this help usually free of charge. But in order to support our program and support the mission and the work that we do, we are always welcoming sponsors. So Aromatica Coffee is sort of a sponsor of this program, although it is intertwined with the New Jersey Small Business Alliance. However, if you have a product that you would like to bring to the market, I think just hang on a minute. Okay, I guess it's all right. Oh, the light is not working. Oh well. Okay, so technological difficulties I shall overcome. So if you have a product that you want to promote or have it be featured on our show, which by the way, the actual name of the show is Business Builders and More. It is part of the New Jersey Small Business Alliance, and it is airing on Healthy Home Network TV. Healthy Home Network TV is the platform, the network, which broadcasts our segments and also the interviews that we do with entrepreneurs when they want to talk about some product, service, promote their business, and so forth. Business Builders and More grew out of the idea that we can broadcast our message quicker to the public and hope that individuals who are looking to start their businesses or need help managing and get more successful can come to us for help. But anyway, so while I'm waiting for Chef Afi to return with her ice cream, I guess if there are any questions, you guys can DM me through the Facebook. But Afi, while you are back, and I don't know if you're coming or going, I would love for our audience to get to know who you are, because we are an entrepreneurial organization and we love to feature not only up-and-coming entrepreneurs, but also those that are more seasoned, like yourself, because the viewers can learn from your journey and they can hopefully get some tips and maybe even avoid some pitfalls. And I think you are the perfect, you're perfect to guide people, especially in the food industry.
Well, awesome. Okay, so let me just talk a little bit about who I am. So I actually was raised vegan vegetarian. I've been eating this way for over like 50 years. My mom started out vegetarian. She didn't want to give us meat. She is from New Jersey, and she learned through her grandmother. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to kind of prep for our next next recipe. I literally kind of learned a lot from my mother, being around her, of how to eat in a more healthier way. You still can eat fun stuff and things like that, but because of the journey that I've been on, I really enjoyed being in the kitchen. And so one of the things that I decided to do as I became an adult was to continue that way of life by actually teaching you. So I am an actual certified chef. I went to culinary school for actually pastry and design. So that's why we're featuring desserts today, guys. I'm actually a pastry chef. And with that, I decided that I really wanted to find a way to share what I knew just from my experience of being around the food all this time to making it appetizing. At one point, veganism had a lot of different stigmas of like, it's not going to taste good, it's not flavorful, it costs a lot of money, all of these things. Exactly.
Say, well, I need like some meat.
Right.
I need like a lot, like protein, like I need
right.
But I'm actually finding out that people really don't need all that protein the way some people are advised to, like, just stack up and maximize on protein. I've actually spoken to some vegans who are perfectly healthy, and they've been like that forever, and they never eat meat. They've never eaten meat.
Yeah.
So
I get that question a lot about the protein. You still need protein. Protein comes from a lot of different sources. People sometimes are not aware of what the sources are. So this product that we were just using just a minute ago, and we're going to use it again because we're going to make our vegan tiramisu. I've got lady fingers under here that I made yesterday at home. I've got my little shooter glasses. We're going to do shooter tiramisu, which just means it's in a little shot glass versus being in, and I've ground up, that's cocoa powder.
Wow.
Yes. So there are so many ways to get your protein. People are I think more people are more aware now, because that was one of the biggest questions that I would get a long time ago. It's like, how do you get your protein? So this main ingredient that's in here is lentils. Lentil is a legume. It is like a small bean. And we grew up eating those, like we make lentil soups, burgers, all kind of stuff. So the protein that's in it actually is about 8 to 10 grams. So you can get a lot of protein from legumes, which would be lentils. You can get them from like chickpeas. We eat this grain called quinoa and millet. Millet is a grain, and it actually has a lot of protein in there. So there are a lot of sources where you can get your protein. It's just knowing them. So technically, you don't necessarily have to eat a red meat or a white meat to actually get protein.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's how you keep that protein.
I think there is a little bit of, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't want you contacting me and telling me that I'm giving bad advice, but I really think that the idea to eat an abundance of protein might just be excessive. Some people are told, well, just make sure you have like protein, couple of eggs. They grew up that way.
Okay, got it. See, on that level, I can't speak to that, because I would recommend you go to a doctor and figure out what it is that your body, each individual body needs. I only speak from a level of what I already know. So I try not to mix a lot of medical into that, just because I don't have that background, and people literally take what you say sometimes and run with it. And on that level, I kind of
don't run with
that, guys. Go to a doctor and figure out what you need. Just try to have a balanced diet, basically. So I'll make sure that I'll eat something green, like a green leafy vegetable or something like that. Basically, whatever the 4 food groups are, you need to incorporate on that. When it comes down to real science part of it, that's where I have to consult my doctor. So that's where I go into it. I try not to go very medical, because that's not my background.
Same.
Yeah, that's not my background, and I don't want to get people confused or have people asking me for recommendations, because I have gotten that before. Somebody's asked me about diabetes and things like that, and I'm like, I'm not a health professional. I'm a chef. So, but I do healthy meals, and I only do it because this is the way I grew up. I wouldn't have it any other way, but I like it. It doesn't always have to be about health, though, in order to do it. You can eat something fun that's healthier, and it still tastes good and be good for you. All right, so while we're doing that, I'm gonna mix a little bit. So we're going to make that's okay. Are we still live, because our lights went out?
I'll double check.
Okay.
Yeah, the lights did go out, but we're live.
Okay, awesome. Good. We're still talking. Are there any people on there? Okay. Hey, if you guys are on, I hope everything is well, and watch out for this. I'm going to move the coffee just a little bit back so you guys can see what I'm about to do. So, guys, I've got pre-made lady fingers. So I'm gonna be honest, as a chef, sometimes you make mistakes. As a pastry chef, math and science is super important. If you make something and you put it in the oven and it doesn't come out right, 9 times out of 10 you gotta scrap it. And this was my second batch. I had to get another recipe to do these lady fingers.
You made those yourself?
I made these from scratch.
God.
You want to try one?
Absolutely. Oh my God. Oh my
And
God.
we're going to soak these guys in some coffee. Let me get a bowl. Give me 1 second, guys. How is that?
That's amazing.
Thank
So, I want to know what's in this.
Okay, I will tell you. So I did. We have her coffee, guys. I brewed some coffee here, and we're just gonna put some in this little bowl here. So the first round we used was the dry coffee grounds. For the tiramisu shooters, we're actually using actual coffee. And you want it cold anyway, because you're going to actually dip the lady fingers in there. So I'm gonna just go over a little bit what's in there. So I did all-purpose flour, some arrowroot powder, which is similar to like cornstarch. We did raw cane sugar. We did, I used some heavy, what's not heavy cream? I used some of my oat creamer. The recipe called for yogurt, but I didn't have any yogurt. So if you change your recipe, guys, make sure you lessen the liquid if you change something. Because with baking, it is math and science. The first recipe that I had too much baking powder and too much baking soda. So they really got super puffy in the oven. So these have baking powder and baking soda, but it was less. So also, every recipe is not the same. It is what it is. So basically what I'm going to do is, before we do this part, we're gonna make our mix first, but I just wanted to show you. These were super cool. I made probably like 5 trays of these. Yeah, because I wanted to make them small because they're going inside the shooter glasses.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, so it made a lot.
Traditionally lay them out.
Yeah, no. So we're not gonna do it in a pan. This is actually a shooter. So a shooter is literally inside a miniature cup that has that. That's what a shooter is.
So I'm thinking this is good, great. For
Exactly.
a party.
Exactly.
Barbecue.
Exactly.
Even like catering a little wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So I have a class where I actually teach you how to do this.
I love it.
Yeah, and it comes with like a full menu, and this is the dessert part. So we're gonna get loud again, and I'm going to blend up our heavy whipping cream. We're making the filling that's gonna go inside. So traditional filling is mascarpone cheese and a cream. We're not using mascarpone today. We're actually gonna use the heavy whipping cream and powdered sugar.
So is this the same ingredients that you use to make it?
Exactly. It's a 2 for 1.
Yes.
A 2 for 1.
Love it.
It's ice cream season. I kept trying to think. I was
I
like,
love ice cream.
how do you not have summertime and not have ice cream?
You don't have to do the fun thing. Not everybody loves ice cream.
Well,
You
that's
know I
yeah.
love ice cream.
I have to say I love it. So I'm gonna be, one of those people who say, if you don't love it, I'm sorry that you don't love it, but I do. You can actually make coffee ice cream too. With that, you would actually heat your milk, and with that, you would need a compressor, like an ice cream churn, because adding more liquid to this is going to deflate it. So with this, we would have to use an ice cream. It couldn't be a churn. We're going to turn this though. We're going to use the coffee powder.
So I just want to let you know, guys, that the coffee powder you're using is this brand. This is, I believe, this is the morning brand. The morning, this is the morning edition.
I hope you guys can hear us. I know this mixer is loud, but I didn't feel like bringing my heavy KitchenAid in, and this is the easiest way to do it. We'll have to get some mics the next time. I try to raise my voice when I'm using loud equipment or limit what I'm talking about. We're almost there, guys. Alright, so now I'm going to have you add all of that powdered sugar. So this is convection and sugar, the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
You're going to add all of that to it. And we're going to stiffen up the recipe a little bit.
Did you make the sugar too?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't try to do.
Tell me
Confectionate sugar is literally regular sugar just ground like 50 billion times.
Wow.
That's what
Okay.
confectionate sugar is.
Okay.
So that vanilla right there, could you hand me that,
Of
please?
course.
All right, so we're gonna add that in just a minute. I want to go ahead and mix this again. Stiffen this up. We don't have to make it as stiff as the ice cream because we want it to be a little creamy. Tiramisu is a super light ingredient.
So I have an idea. What? Because I like to get creative too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a great cook,
Okay.
but sometimes when I'm in the mood, I'll experiment. Could we make this, let's say, like orange flavored?
You sure can. You can make it any flavor
banana
you want.
flavored,
So
or,
for
what's another good option? Even lemon flavored.
I would probably stick with the citrus because this is what you would
Okay.
do with that. You're going to use a grater or what is called a zest,
Okay.
and you're going to zest the lemon or orange peels. That's how you would incorporate that in there. It's
Okay.
really kind of hard to make that banana because one, I would actually have to blend the banana up, and it's going to change the texture of it. So, and then they have like banana flavorings, but those are not real. Those are like synthetic
Yes.
flavorings. I just add, guys, about a teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to turn the blender back on. All right, you want to try a little bit of this?
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so delicious.
All right, so now we're going to take the,
Did you intentionally give me a small spoon?
yeah, these are the spoons that go
Oh,
with
got
it.
it, got it,
Yeah. Yeah, so whenever you're doing like shooter type things, you always want to get a smaller spoon. Oh, you're looking for the trash? Oh yeah, that's my other silverware. Whenever you're doing any kind of small glasses or things like that, you want to have the utensils that go with that. So it doesn't make sense to use a big giant spoon for this size cup. First of all, the spoon is not going to be able to stay up in there and hold it. This is a smaller version, so these actually come with that.
That's so cute.
Yeah. I started out in the catering industry. That's how I started in the
And
food.
actually, you may not realize it, but it's a very rich dessert. This is
Yeah,
a very
exactly.
rich cream.
Exactly.
I don't even know if you can have at one sitting more than
Yeah, I probably wouldn't
One,
do more than
no.
one of those.
one
So I'm
portion.
dropping these in the coffee, guys, and then I'm gonna take them out like quickly because I don't want to over soak them, and then we're just gonna let them sit. So I'm gonna do one more. Oh, let's do two more. And literally, they're just sitting in the coffee, and then we're gonna take them out, and then I'm gonna do something kind of crazy. You're gonna be like, oh my God, you're gonna literally break this up, but yep, we're going to actually break the cookie down. All right, let's get that out of the way a little bit. Wipe my hands off. All right, so how would we fill these bags, you say? That's kind of weird. How do we fill them? Well, we're going to use these things right here called pastry bags. These are piping bags that are disposable. You can buy ones that are reusable, but I like disposable because of a lot of times I'm using things that have an oil base in there, and it is really hard to clean up. So they make the disposable kind just so you can use it and toss it. If you are in the kitchen a lot, like when I used to have my cake shop, I used to own a cake shop, guys. When I had my cake shop, I did use sometimes the reusable ones. But like I said, if I'm using a buttercream that has a fat in it, which could be like a organic vegan palm shortening or butter, it's actually going to stain the piping bag where it's going to be greasy, and it's really hard to clean. And you want to make sure that your piping bags are super clean. So it is a lot more efficient and easier to actually just
And
use
it sounds
disposable
like it's more
ones.
sanitary.
It is. I'm going to be honest. It's a lot more sanitary.
Yeah.
I do like the canvas ones. They make ones that are
But
canvas.
how do you clean those?
You got to do a lot of soap and water and sanitizing. And when you're in full production mode sometimes, and unless you have someone who's helping you do that,
Yeah.
it's more work for me to do
Yeah.
that. I like to get in and get out.
Yeah.
So though they're not always great for the environment, they are
Yeah.
better for what I'm doing right now. And I try to get ones that are PAPA free and things like that. You can find these at all kind of stores. What am I looking for right now? A spoon. Oh, I can take that spatula right there.
Okay.
Awesome. Doesn't matter, it still has that nice coffee firm in here. And basically we're gonna put this in a piping bag, just like this. So we didn't need to blend that as stiff as the first thing, because this is more of like the filling that's gonna go inside the tiramisu. Okay. This is actually how you hold the piping bag to get it in. I've got cream on my hands. And then I'm just gonna twist this like that. We'll get this out of the way. Wipe my hands down. All right, let's bring a cup over. All right, the best way I like to do it is literally break the cookie in half, like that. Put it at the bottom. Okay. Got some scissors here. We're going to snap the edge, cut the edge. All right. We're gonna fill it just like that. All right, we got black cocoa powder, guys, and a little bit more coffee.
What is black cocoa powder as opposed to regular cocoa?
So black cocoa powder is from the cacao bean that they use. They don't process it as much.
Wow.
They use mainly the whole bean versus processing it like 10 times to make it the lighter cocoa powder. And it was just because that's what I found. I was trying to make like black cake one time, and in order to make black cake, you actually have to have a dark cocoa. Right, it doesn't work if you don't use.
And I know that when it's not processed, it has more antioxidants.
It does.
'Cause
See, you know some
I
stuff.
did my research.
You know some stuff.
I did my research.
Awesome. So we're gonna sprinkle just a little bit of that in there. All right, it's very strong, so we don't need as much. Then I'm gonna do another layer of the cookie. More
So
cream.
while we are, we're certainly halfway, if not more, into this demonstration. Tell our viewers they already know who you are. Tell us how your entrepreneurial journey began.
Okay, that's a great question.
And how long ago
Has that been?
Yep,
Okay.
that you started it.
That's a great question. So let's see. It started probably, I'm gonna say, 2011, when I came up here and stayed with my sister for the summer. And at that point, I was doing art. I had an art business, and I was selling at festivals and stuff like that. And a situation kept happening where I would go places and I would go and do like a small market in the city, and wind up having an issue really making money. And I happened to walk this, I'm not gonna lie to you, this really happened. I actually was walking past Rutgers, the actual university up here.
In here in New York.
Exactly. And I was pulling this table, and the table fell over on the ground. It was literally across from the school. And what happened with that, it made me decide that maybe I needed to go back to school and perfect something.
Amazing.
That's literally, I tell you no lie.
Just like
I
that.
tell this we talk about this, my sister and I talk about that all the time. Here's your dessert right here, guys. Let me top it just a little bit with this sprinkle. That's it, guys. That's how you make a shooter out of tiramisu.
Wow. Oh my God.
And there's not a bunch of stuff in there, guys. I mean, literally, pastry is literally, once you learn the basics and the keys to making things, you can convert a lot of different recipes.
It's extremely rich.
Thank you.
Like-
Ricky, I got
So
one for
it's
you.
very rich,
Uh-huh.
but it's also very light.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's light because you've been whipping it.
Right, exactly.
You whipped it for like what, 2 minutes?
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
Now I'm also gonna tell you that it is pretty filling.
Okay.
This is probably I don't know. I mean, I guess you could have two, but
Now there are some people who like to eat dessert, so
Well,
I wouldn't say that.
I am a desserty.
Okay, good.
Can you call me a desserty?
Hey, okay, it's all good, but yeah, that's.
I don't desert people, but I'm a desserty.
I've got one more coming up, guys. That's literally super. But
Shall
yeah.
we introduce you?
Sure.
Hey guys, we have Ricky here. He is the entrepreneur and chef that owns this awesome space that I'm in. It's called Audacity Kitchen. We are great friends. Thank you for hosting us, Ricky.
Sure.
If you have anything to say to the people online or whatever while I'm building this.
Hello, everyone. I just came in to get a quick snack and some dessert. But yes, I'm Ricky Davis, Chef Ricky, known to some, and I'm glad to host this event today. Looking forward to my dessert as I haven't eaten lunch yet. So.
Can you tell us a little bit about your space?
Sure. So I opened the space in the middle of COVID in August of 2021. And I had issues with staffing because I still had my full-time job. And so I lasted about a year. And then I closed the cafe, and then I rented out the space for 2.5 years. And then a friend of mine convinced me that you have this great space, you have all of the equipment and everything. Let's just turn it into a shared kitchen for small businesses to utilize. And once I made that pivot in February of this year, it's just grown tremendously, more than I expected it to. And my friend Alfie was one of the first ones to come on board, and I'm really grateful for her for that. So yeah.
What type of food did you serve at the cafe?
So I'm a trained chef.
And you're a trained chef?
Yes, I am a trained chef. I'm a graduate of the Institute of Culinary Education in New York City. For the cafe, we did breakfast. We had breakfast sandwiches and some entrees. We also did lunch. The plan then was to also do dinner, but because of COVID and the community, it's like people just kind of didn't come out for dinner, and so we just kind of limited it to breakfast and lunch. I also have a catering business, and I also have a food truck. So this building in and of itself was supposed to be headquarters for the food truck and for the catering. It just so happened it came with a fully built out kitchen, which is now the commissary.
So, who would be a good fit to utilize your shared kitchen?
Any small business, whether it's a food truck, caterers, a chef. I have a couple of chefs. I have one chef that's coming this weekend that's filming a commercial, and so she needs to do the prep so that they have the product to film the commercial in Montclair. I have another chef that just rented out the kitchen for a week because he was doing a wedding. So those are like the little specialty niches that I've kind of discovered. But like for Alfie, she does her cooking classes here because we have this great backdrop that I created for her. She does her cooking classes here virtually and in person. And I also have another school that does adult cooking classes so that people can go out and work in restaurants or in the food service industry. So they come twice a week, every month, and I think they have like 6 to 8 participants. So they utilize the kitchen as well as out here to do their practicals. So any business that, any food business that needs a commercial kitchen, because you're supposed to be working in a commercial kitchen.
Of course.
Yeah.
Would you consider doing a demo with us?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
maybe next couple of weeks we can, well, we were ready to come up with some ideas for barbecue sauce using coffee.
Yes.
I know that you have meat recipes.
Yes.
So maybe you can, I'll have Alfie create some.
Alfie creates the barbecue sauce, and we'll go in the kitchen and grill it and cook it. Yep.
That's
works.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So tune in.
And we'll also throw in a vegan item as well with that barbecue sauce.
There we go. There we go. That way I can eat. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I get invited
Yeah.
to barbecue, sometimes I gotta bring my own food, guys.
Right,
but
right,
it's all
right.
good. You know, people are more aware now than
Yes.
they used to be.
Right.
But sometimes I have to just say, okay, I don't want to just eat salad, guys. It's like, that was that old thing. Well, what are you gonna eat? Salad? And I'm like, no. There are other things you can eat that can be put on the grill.
And I'm transitioning to some vegan because she made these
Oh, wow.
the macarons.
Oh yes, the French macarons,
they were
guys.
amazing.
What was it?
French macaroons, those little colorful cookies.
Yeah.
That's made from aquafaba. So traditionally, they're made with egg whites
And coconut.
And so those are the coconut macaroons.
Oh, okay.
But the French macaroons are made with almond flour and egg whites. Those are traditional. I make the vegan version by using aquafaba, which is the liquid from the chickpeas. And
Oh,
then
yes.
I use almond flour and powdered sugar and sift them, and then we bake them. What you think about that?
You really,
Amazing.
the creaminess of it is
It is.
really.
It's
It's
wow.
this.
Yeah.
This is an awesome product.
You really
I
can't
love
tell
it.
the difference.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. All I did, and I didn't do a mascarpone because technically you don't have to make a mascarpone when you're making this. Because this is like a little shooter version of it. And I literally do teach these guys. I teach plant-based cooking classes. How you would go about signing up for one of my classes, you would just go to my website and you would actually book one of the classes from the website. The website,
What's your website?
it is www.diykitchendiaries.com. I do baking classes, guys. I do pasta making. You can make pasta from aquafaba, which is the liquid from the chickpeas. And so, yeah, exactly.
Make pasta from
Make
that?
pasta. I wow people all the time, and people are like, "Oh my God, does this taste like egg chickpeas?" No, it doesn't. 2 food scientists came up with aquafaba. I didn't, so it's not my invention. When I had the cake shop, a participant came in. One of my customers came in, and she wanted a vegan cake, and she asked me about aquafaba. Did I know about it? Because you can use it to make buttercream. And I was like, no, I didn't know about that. So I said, let me do some research. So I started researching. There was a magazine periodical that came out that same year, and it had aquafaba on the cover, and it started talking about it. It talked about the guys
So
who
that's a
discovered
brand
it.
now?
It is a
Aquafaba
brand.
is a brand.
It's not technically a brand, but if
product.
you say it now, a lot more people know what it is. It's literally AKA bean juice. That's what they'll like hashtag it, bean juice, liquid chickpea brine.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
what it is.
exactly.
Oh,
So it is
okay.
literally the liquid from the can of chickpeas. I didn't bring anything with me that has it. Usually I'll carry some. It is awesome. I use it for a lot. I use it to make the buttercream, which I have in that cooler right
How
there.
do you make pasta out of it?
So you would have to sign up for my class
Oh,
to
yeah.
take the pasta. I can't give away all of my secrets.
You're right. If you want
And
to
I
learn
actually
how to
have a
make
pasta
vegan
class on my
pasta.
website, guys. Yes, you would need to take and I can
wow.
explain it. It is super fun, and we
I'm
have a
gonna
lot of
sign
fun
up for
done.
that.
I do a 2-ingredient
It'll be
pizza
fun.
making class.
Oh, wow.
We use self-rising flour, and we use a what is it called? A Greek yogurt to make the
Actual
2 ingredients.
yogurt?
Yes, actual yogurt.
So you can eat yogurt?
I use the dairy-free version. They're dairy-free yogurts.
Like coconut?
Yes, yes.
I
And it's
think I
and not
do.
even
I
just
actually
coconut.
do.
Yeah, they have like dairy-free. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm actually a guru
Okay.
when it comes to making yogurt.
Okay.
But my yogurt,
Okay.
because I am of Russian Ukrainian descent, so
Okay.
our yogurt is not
Right.
the typical Greek
American.
yogurt.
Okay.
We actually make kefir.
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah,
I've had
yeah,
that
yeah,
before
yeah.
a long
But
time ago.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you something really interesting about kefir. You can check that out. Kefir has, I believe, 5 or 6 times more good bacteria than a regular yogurt.
Okay.
Because I've had the
Yeah.
shakes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does have a stronger taste.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's much more sour. I have been making my own certainly over 25 years. But I switched now. I have a new thing. So I switched from cow milk to goat milk.
Okay.
Okay.
But goat milk is a little different. So you
Yeah.
can't just, it has a different
Taste.
texture. Definitely has a different taste. But making yogurt is a little bit more challenging because I think it has less, protein or of
Okay.
some lactase.
Okay.
Is it lactase
Lactose.
is a
Mhm.
protein? It
I'm
has
not sure,
less
yeah.
of something. So it takes longer and you need more of it. But yeah, I am a guru of making
Okay.
yogurt.
Well, that's awesome. Awesome.
So maybe we should have her teach a class, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love it. But yeah, I use a dairy-free yogurt to make the ingredients. And there's so many different kinds that are out there already. I used to eat yogurt back in the day because I told you I was vegetarian. And vegetarians technically will eat dairy. So like there's levels to it. So that's how you need to learn. And like I said, I don't teach people to convert you. You know, I'm not teaching you so I can say, oh, now you can become a vegan. I just teach recipes, guys. And then you can take it wherever you want to go with it. Like if you want to incorporate one day where you don't eat meat, add that to it. Then you can find pasta. You can make a dessert. You can make all kind of fun stuff. Oprah used to do it, Meatless Mondays. Yeah, Meatless Mondays. And you do that, and that one day becomes, if you still like it, becomes 2 days. 2 days become three, and so on and so forth, if you choose. It's baby steps. There are a lot more people who do eat this way now than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was not as acceptable. I'm the oldest of 9 siblings, and all of my siblings behind me still eat this way. Yes, we still eat this way. My siblings cook. We all cook.
Do you think it's more expensive to eat vegan?
No, actually it's not.
Really?
Not now. There are expensive stores. Like Whole Foods is an expensive store, but that doesn't mean you have to always go to Whole Foods.
Of course.
I go to like multiple stores. I go to Trader Joe's. I go to Aldi. I go to Lidl. What's that store? Yeah, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Lidl is kind of like an Aldi. Yeah. I go to ShopRite, Stop and Shop. Sometimes I'll go to Whole Foods for certain stuff if I need certain things. Like I actually needed condensed milk, but they make a coconut version. And I thought Stop and Shop had it. They had the evaporated one, but they didn't have the condensed. And evaporated and condensed are 2 different things. What is the difference? The sugar. It's sugar in condensed milk. That's what makes it condensed. It makes it sweet. Yeah, so and when I went there, they didn't have it, so I had to make my own by just using coconut milk and some raw cane sugar. Technically, you would need to cook it. We had to fast track that. So, you know, sometimes in the kitchen, you fast track things. You want to make sure you know what you're doing first. And don't be afraid to use a recipe. A lot of people like, oh, I don't need a recipe. I already know how to cook. Okay, do you? Because here's the thing, like if you mess up, especially with baking things, it ain't gonna come out right. You know, like it's really a science. Now culinary, you can like sometimes fix it before it gets to that point. But with baking, if you mess up, and like I said, I messed up the first recipe when I did these. It was the recipe had too much baking powder or baking soda. Those are leaveners. So they made a real puffy, it looked like biscuits. And then I tasted too much salt, and I was like, yeah, we gotta scrap this. So I had to find another recipe and redo it. So like I said, don't be afraid of a recipe. And people sometimes shy away from baking because I made these. You wanna try one? I made like a whole like 60 trays. It was like ridiculous how many I was making yesterday. But I had to make small ones so that they would fit in here. And I kept piping and piping. I was like, am I done yet? How many more times do I have to bake these? But yeah, don't be afraid of a recipe. A recipe can help you. Even with just cooking stuff. I mean, that's why they have cookbooks and things like that. I have like a stack of cookbooks at home that sometimes I read. Plus I get bored sometimes and I'll use a recipe. I'm like, oh, what do I feel like making? Let me see. I pull out the cookbook. So yeah, make it fun. Make it fun. Cooking doesn't have to be horrible. And with that being said, guys, I'm gonna run downstairs and get that ice cream really quick. And we're going to end this segment. And you guys will have to catch us live again. I'm gonna pipe this real quick in here. I've had so much fun today in the kitchen. I enjoy doing this, guys. I really do. When I was young, I used to watch all of the heavy hitter cooking shows before they had Food Network. And you have to be a certain age to know this, but they had Julia Childs. They had the gourmet chef, the frugal gourmet. They had this Cajun guy that used to cook Cajun meals. I forget what his name. He used to drink a lot. Chef. Was that his name? He had like a little beard. Yeah, and he had a bald head. And he used to drink. Woo boy! And that was before Food Network came out. So I knew that at some point I would do this for a living. I didn't know when this would happen, but I knew at some point that I would do it. I actually went to the culinary school that Julia Childs graduated from, Le Cordon Bleu. I wanted to finish my externship in Paris, but unfortunately that didn't work out so well, but it's all good. Yeah, exactly. It's all good. I'm gonna make my Paris trip soon. That's coming. That's coming. Right. All right, guys, let me finish this off. I'm gonna stop talking for just 1 second and finish this off. And then we're going to end this video, guys. This was amazing with hanging out with you guys today in the kitchen with Malia. She's brought her delicious coffee in. I had coffee this morning. I had to have some coffee because I needed to kind of wake myself up. I didn't actually used to like coffee though, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't always my thing. It became my thing after I started working in the kitchen, like long hours. And then it became my thing. One of my first jobs working with coffee is
Fresh Start program, which empowers victims of domestic violence, both men and women, to end the cycle of abuse through entrepreneurship. So our program helps the victims heal, learn, and be guided by seasoned professionals so that they can become financially independent and break away from the abuser if or when they are stuck because of finances, kids. So our coffee here, going back to this, is part of the effort. A portion of the proceeds will support our program. If you want to appear on our show, which does air on Healthy Home Network TV, if you want to sponsor some of our projects, just reach out to me. But you'll have another show coming up soon, and I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Mila Lieberson, and I'm with
Chef Afi here.
Bye-bye.
Bye guys, thank you so much. Oh wait, before we end, let's scoop out the ice cream real quick. We got the ice cream out, so I have a little snap food here, but it's all good. I'm gonna fix it.
I can't believe it froze so quickly.
That's because it's a sub-zero freezer.
Oh, okay.
Technically, guys, you need to freeze this for at least 2 to 4 hours, okay? So don't try to do don't try to do what I just did. Oh no, did it break up? That's okay. We'll get you some more.
Okay, no, I got some. I
got you. Gotta put that on there just for the looks of it.
Okay, just for the looks.
Just for the looks. All right.
This is our vegan. So this is our vegan ice cream with our coffee. Wow. Wow. Oh my God, the crunchy coffee bits.
How does it?
Oh my God, it's
Okay.
delicious.
Awesome.
Oh my God. Thank you again for watching.
Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
See you soon.
Bye.